Jude the Dude on Mamigbe. Now, have you ever wondered why? Well, maybe you know now. Some people maybe didn't know. But when I was much younger, all right, and I had this insane appetite for biological sciences, basically. I wanted to find out everything. Why does this work? I used to be, that child that would ask the father and the mother 1,000, those children that would ask Daddy, why is the sky blue? The father answers. Then he asks, so why? The father answers. And then 2 minutes later, the same question the father answered, or rather the other third or fourth question, I would go, why? Like, I would ask and ask questions. But one thing I remember very vividly, all right? My father never raised his voice at me for asking questions. Never did. Sometimes he could be exasperated. Oh my God, this speaking. Do you ever shut up? But he would always find a way to answer it. Maybe it was his science background, as an engineer, always wanting to fix things and he would always go, oh, this is why it is. The sun is doing this. This is what's happening. That is what's happening. I'll go, Then 2 hours later, I say, but why is he doing that exactly? How is he able to do that? Obviously, my father couldn't explain nuclear fission and fusion to me. It wasn't until I got to university. Sort of like when I was wondering, why did they call a millipede a millipede? Yeah. I think the answer is in the name. Millipede. Multiple legs. Almost like 1,000 or so. This morning on the Office Beat, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about cab fare, cost, and adjustments. All right. So if you go on our pages, talking about Facebook and X, you see a post up right now at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. Now, this is my question. Should taxis take in more passengers or should they increase fares? Let me repeat that. Should taxis, whether they are buses, whether they are mini cabs, whether they are the regular saloon vehicles, should taxis take in more passengers, all right, or should they increase their fares? Now, why am I asking this question? Now, some commercial drivers in Port Harcourt say they've increased the number of passengers in their vehicles to meet up with the recent increase in the price of petrol. So today, I got to buy petrol this morning at 700 naira. Yesterday, very much I bought at 1,000 naira a liter. All right? So everybody's feeling the brunch. Yeah. But whilst this is happening, obviously, fares have increased. Now, they said that a CNL bus now carries 8 passengers as opposed to 7. And what they do is that they either put one small, how many of you have seen those things? They put one small stool right in the space where you are not meant to sit. They put a stool there. In some cases, if you are lucky, they'll put a stool that has a foam, a cushion you can sit down on, right? Great. I remember sharing this story on this same platform years ago of my journey to Yenegua, and somewhere around in Mbiama, I got to see a taxi. There was a driver. The driver had somebody sat beside him on the same seat. Please listen, on the same seat. Then on the passenger side, there were 2 others, if not 3 others. That didn't stop there. At the back, there were at least 5 people at the back that day. And then for good measure, the trunk, aka the boot, was filled with plantain, banana, rice, garri, everything. The exhaust of that vehicle was just millimeters, maybe centimeters away from the ground. It was overloaded. But why am I asking this question? Because you see, whilst everybody's talking about increase in price, we have sadly as a nation forgotten about HSC. HSC, I beg your pardon, Health, Safety and Environment. What is now a norm is frowned upon almost everywhere. I've asked this question from about last night till this morning. All my friends have asked in the UK, in the US, even in small little tiny Scotland. It's a taboo. You do not put passengers where luggage is meant to be. You're not in the wartime. But in this country, you see people regularly in trucks, back of trucks. They are sat down. No concern about health or safety, nothing. And I mean nothing. But now the fuel price has increased. Does it make sense to put more passengers into the vehicle? So basically, you tell me, you call me, tell me what is preferable. We moved sometime in the late 90s to having passengers sit comfortably, one person in the front and then 3 at the back, to now having 2 in front to 3 at the back. We didn't stop there. If you go to Warri and parts of Benin, it's now 1, or it used to be 1 in front, 4 behind. But now it's now 2 in front, 4 behind. But let's even take it a notch higher. Go to Ughelli, and I'm not making this up. They have 4 at the back if they are nice, 2 in front, standard. Anybody that doesn't want, guess what? You pay for 2 seats. So if you pay for 2 seats at the back, it's just going to be you and guess what? 2 other people. No concern when you have accidents and people break their legs, break their limbs, have issues with their eyesight and whatnot. Everybody seems to forget that at one point in time, the Federal Road Safety Commission warned that you should not sit indiscriminately in your vehicles. Well, who cares?
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
And now, hello, Port Harcourt with Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, so as always, 017-923-0003, 017-923-0007. All right, turn down the volume of your radio set, refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments, and let's keep our comments civil, shall we? All right, great. WhatsApp is 08090306416. Now, before you come on and start dragging me in particular, let me admit to you, I too am guilty because I've sat down in the front seat with another person in a taxi in Port Harcourt. But I don't think I've ever sat down in the front seat in a car going from Port Harcourt to Yenegua to Benin or anywhere. I wouldn't do that. Michael is in Brooklyn. Michael, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jude.
Good morning.
Jude, we must learn how to do the right thing at all times. This topic you are discussing, you had previously brought it up some time ago.
I remember last year.
Every car has its carrying capacity. There are some cars, you see 250 kg, some whatever, I don't know, I'm just giving you an instance. Every car has carrying capacity. The people that made this car knew times to be tough, times to be hard, and they went ahead to specify the carrying capacity of that car. But when those cars find their way into Nigeria, we convert them for another use. You are destroying your car. Me, I have a car. I know, frank with you, I do exceed the carrying capacity of my car. Like, for instance, my Honda Civic, I have the manual. The manual came to me at that time. Then the manual has 4 persons, 1 at the front, 3 at the back. But since I started using the car for commercial purpose, I started carrying 5. I had 2 at the front and the 3 at the back, making total of 6. So, and the car was meant for 5, or the driver 5. And these things affect the cars. Forget about the money you are making. Forget about it affects, you know about cars now. It affects the camera, it affects the screen, the show, everything about the car.
So, Michael, what would you prefer to have done? That people taking more passengers, or they increase the fare?
Dude, the truth, you increase it. I blame this National Union of Road Transport Workers, and though I'm not a member, but I blame many of these transport associations. They don't enlighten the masses, passengers. They should tell the passengers, pay more for the safety of these cars. Now, if you carry overload now, because if you say if accident happens, God forbid, it is not my portion. If you carry overload now, an accident happens, if that extra life that will have been saved will die. Don't you understand something? Now, maybe instead of 5 persons, you carry 8, an accident happens, 3 persons died. Now, think about do the math now. yourself. But when you say God forbid, it is not my person. Then who's person? When we throw caution to the wind, we say God forbid, Lord of this. Increase the fare and increase your safety.
So you're all for increasing the fares.
Increase the fare and drive with safety. Your car will last. Lives will be saved.
Okay. Michael says, increase the fare, lives will be saved, your car would also be spared, you spend less in maintaining it. It will be a safer road for everybody. Do you agree? If, like me, you have been on the roads for maybe 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you're looking for a car, you want to get to the market, you want to get to work, and the only seat available is in front, sharing with another person, and you pay the same 100 naira, would you or would you not enter? .28 a.m. this wonderful Thursday morning. Nice and cool, not as humid and hot as it has been in the recent weeks. So we might just be ushering, the raining season. It rained this morning between, like I said earlier on, between 3 and about 5 a.m. this morning. Very windy at one point in time. Very cool. Good for sleeping. Yeah, it's good. Great. But we are up and about, and as you found out, that a lot of people are having to pay a little bit more, well, in some cases about 25% more for their transportation fares to and fro from wherever it is they had plans to get to. So if you're living Port Harcourt right now, you're probably paying maybe another 1,800 or 3,000 naira extra, for your taxi, if you're going to Benin or Warri, for example, and all of those kind of things that have been coming through in recent days and weeks, obviously occasioned by the strike that held on Monday. And then, now that strike has been called on, the very obvious fuel price increase. Very, very obvious. Like I said, I got fuel this morning at 700 naira. Someone got yesterday 1,000. In fact, I think I was listening to Wazobia FM yesterday, and somebody made mention of buying at 920 naira per liter as well. Now, if you think that's high, wait until you hear what our brothers and our cousins are buying at Bonny, right? On the island in Bonny. Just wait. In fact, don't even wait. Call them. Let them tell you. Now, all of this has occasioned yet another interesting trend. Because, like I made mention earlier on, back in the late 90s, in the early 80s, well, mid 80s, that's when I started using taxis. So yeah, in the 80s, late 80s, 90s, it was unheard of, and I mean unheard of, to see two people in front of in a seat in this country. It was unheard of. In fact, when Okadas started becoming popular in Port Harcourt, I'm using Port Harcourt now. I'll probably say, well, I was in probably that's like 99 or something. I was so eager to go on a motorcycle. You would not find two people on a motorbike. You would not. These days, yeah, it's free. Why? Because it's expensive. Yes, it is. So we've gotten to that point where people now have forgotten about HSE, health, safety, and environment. People don't care about their health. I see people, and I have been there. I'm also indicted, two in the front sometimes with their children in front. Millimeters away from the dashboard. Millimeters. So now, should the prices increase, or, like the commercial drivers are saying, Port Harcourt, in order to keep the prices at the same level, they've now increased the number of passengers that they take? Daniel is on the line speaking to us from Imo Gate. Daniel, good morning. Welcome to Hello Port Harcourt.
Good morning, my brother Jude.
It's a pleasure to have you join us. Welcome, please.
You get Daniel from Imo Gate, Port Harcourt. You see, my brother, the issue is that our leaders, our economists, should do something concerning our economy. If I may ask you, Jude, did you know when Nigerians began to use tricycle, that is keke, popularly known as keke, as means of transport? So all these things boil down on our economy. Yes, even when they add these passengers, two in front or four at back, I am talking about taxi. For them to meet up, did you hear what are they called? World Bank or whatever that says that Naira will soon become 2,000 Naira $1. You don't have to blame them. I used to be a cab driver.
Interesting.
People will say, oh, you are doing this. I say them, if you think it is that we are gaining much, invest in the business. What I'm saying in essence, part of those whatever, the path has increased, every other thing, mechanics are there. So this is the way we have found ourselves. But the point is that our leaders, they are driving SUVs of 250 million naira as bulletproof cars. They don't care what we are passing through. Well, so let us blame nobody. Let us not blame ordinary man.
So
Daniel from Imo Gate.
Chike, before you leave, which do you think is preferable, to increase the fare or to increase the number of passengers in the vehicle?
I am telling you, they will add the passenger and will all increase the fares. The fare.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hello Port Harcourt.
And now, Hello Port Harcourt with Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Well, we have a man from Elelenwo, Chris. Good morning to you. Welcome, please.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah. Hello, Nigeria.
Hello, Port Harcourt. Yes. Go on.
Port Harcourt. To tell you the truth, are you seeing what's going on? You know, if we plan very well, we reap what we sow. If we plan wrongly and we sow wrongly, we'll reap. I could remember when Minister of Information said something last time that if we can drink bottle of beer, 2 or 3, and see as it will still be changed, why we can buy fuel 1,000? Are you now implying that maybe they know what they are doing. Just to, if it is to keep the price of fuel 1,000 naira, so that the fuel will be available.
Chris, do you understand the topic we're asking this morning? I'm talking about taxes and the cost of transportation, and I'm asking, do you feel that they should increase the price of transportation or the number of passengers that they carry in a taxi? That's what I'm asking.
Well, boils down on the well. Let me talk about this transportation. I make use of my own mob. I bought fuel, and I make use of fuel for other things. So to increase the price of transportation, is it no money that they are going to use to pay?
Mm-hmm.
If somebody asks you to pay from room they pay to Atlantis 500 naira, will you pay? If you are making a journey from people by one, and where you are working, they are paying you 30,000 naira per month, and you paying how much per day to 12 flow. Most of us now, we know how the transport. So if they are to be something, they will say, okay, increase the transport. How much do you think that they will increase? That will be enough?
Yeah, but you see, but Chris, the worry here is if they increase the fare, like you said, a lot of people may not be able to afford. But if they carry more people, those people are at risk of accident or bodily injuries when they enter taxis. George is in the element. George, good morning to you, please.
Oh, Jude, good morning.
Good morning, George. Thank you very much for calling.
Okay. I think we're looking at solution now, but in the midst of searching for this solution, whether you increase the fare or increase the number of passengers, it's all about inconveniencing somebody.
Right.
And when it comes to monetary things, people have plans for their finance. Now, I think increasing the passenger in the vehicle is ideal because financially does not push anybody into pressure. At this moment, we're not looking at convenience now. We're looking at how to manage and go and scale through. So to me, the increased number of passengers, and I get to the place, and I can afford 2 seats. I pay 2 seats and get my comfort.
Okay.
But if you increase the fare now, not everybody will be able to pay that price that you said earlier on. So if road safety will not take advantage of that and the police and begin to exploit drivers for overloading, I think increasing the passenger would be ideal.
Okay. Well, George says he's up for increasing the number of passengers in a vehicle. Now, some commercial drivers in Port Harcourt say they have increased the number of passengers in their vehicles to meet up with the recent increase in the price of petrol. Now, they say that a Sienna bus that would carry ordinarily 7 people now carries 8 passengers. They also appeal to the Commissioner of Police to stop the extortion from commercial drivers by police officers at checkpoints. Where have we had that before? 90.3. Good morning. Hello, Port Harcourt.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you, please.
I'm Confidence calling from Gobebori.
It's a pleasure to have you join us, Confidence. Make your submission.
Yeah, talking about the overpacking of passengers. I feel like it's the best thing for the drivers to do since the price is going and for them to cover up the transportation taking.
So increase the number of passengers they carry.
Yes.
At the detriment of their vehicles and also at the risk of bodily harm in vehicles.
Taking smaller amounts of passengers will cost them because when their vehicle finally break down, they will not be able to have money to recover.
No, but if they take the same number of passengers and increase the fare, they may be able to make up.
Citizens will not have money to pay the fare. That's the problem.
That's the problem.
The salary amount which they are having now is too low compared to the economic condition of the country.
It's a bit of a devil and deep blue sea type scenario, right? Omir from Transamadi, please call back if you can. Let's read messages now. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. That's where you find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeria Info PH. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. All right, you should be following, get latest conversations from those platforms. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. And this morning we are talking about the cost of transportation, and I'm asking very simple question: which is preferable? Should the number of passengers be increased in vehicles already overloaded, if you are to believe the recommendations from the manufacturers, or should the fares be increased so that the safety and integrity of the vehicles can be prolonged? Let's hear from you. Chika speaking to us from Rumigbo. Chika, good morning to you, please. Welcome.
Good morning, dude.
Good morning.
It's a bit of a dilemma. You are considering raising the price of fares or increasing the passengers. Well, for me, before I made that submission, we used to get fuel for about 680 about 3 weeks ago, before this whole issue of fuel and tanker drivers going.
What area? What area? Really, you put buying a 680 already? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, yes.
Interesting.
A few weeks ago. And just this week or some weeks ago, it became 700, 710. And you see taxi drivers increasing their fare by 200%. And I'm wondering why.
Whoa, the taxi drivers around that area increased their fares by 200%.
Yes.
That's what.
Wow. Shuttles that were supposed to be 100 naira, they tell you it's 200 naira. And you're forced to go in because you have to go to work or work. But just the difference in fuel price was just 30 naira, 40 naira. So why the sudden hike?
You have a point there.
Talking about the transportation increase, for me, I think it's better if transportation increase because get more than 4-5 persons in a taxi.
So which would you prefer? Which do you suggest?
So it's better to increase. And this committee that is with the NLC that is supposed to be discussing the increase in minimum wage, I think they need to hurry up and do this, and so we know who is our.
Oh, there. Oh, okay. Chika, thank you very much. We did get your view on the major issue, talking about the fares should be increased and not the the number of passengers. All right, this one here says, Jude, I laugh in Spanish. How can people who claim to be educated forget that HSE, even if you don't know what it stands for, is the very bedrock of which our modern society is built on? The houses have certain rules and regulations, same do cars. We have now gotten so used to packing ourselves in like sardines in a bid to get to a particular place cheaply. They forget that the money that you are saving in transport, you will eventually end up paying when your BP rises. You will eventually end up paying when you have backaches, or if, heavens forbid, you have an accident and your bones get broken. We do not think things thoroughly before we do them. We always blame money. Omia in Transabadi. Omia, good morning. Did you hear the last message I read just now?
Yes. I heard the last message you read.
Wow. Do you agree that people are not taking these things through, that we should consider safety instead of the shots, the 40 or 100 naira that we are paying for transport?
Mr. Jude, I would say it is a tough situation for the masses now in Nigeria. Because if you look at how things are going, everything has virtually increased, including house rent. I don't know, maybe where you are living, your landlord have not increased their price.
They've increased the rent. They increased it in December last year. Quietly, they just told everybody, sent a mail.
Thank you. Everything has increased, but salaries have not been increased.
It doesn't increase like that now.
So it is actually a story situation. Like yesterday when I was coming back, where we used to pay 200 is now 250, 300. Now how much are you being paid? and you have calculated yourself, you calculate house rent, you calculate cost of feeding, and all of this. So it is actually a sorry situation. Yes, we consider help, but as it stands now, you don't actually know whether to go left or to go right. So if probably increasing the passengers will help us, it is better. But if the government can do something to reduce the cost, like if I speak to you, I called my parents in the village, and they told me they're buying fuel for 1,500, 1.3 per liter.
What village?
In Abua.
Wow.
1,300 per liter.
Wow.
So it is not a laughing matter. It is a dire situation.
I mean, thank you very much. Not a laughing matter. Not sure where to go left or to go right. Okay, Roundface. Let's get to read Roundface's comment. This is on WhatsApp 009-030-6416. This one said they should not increase the number of passengers that they are carrying in order not to jam pack people or inconvenience people. Instead, they should increase their fares when necessary. If they increase the number of passengers, the driver holds automatic brake or an accident happens, the experience will be terrible. Roundface from Rumekini. Good morning, Jude. I am an HSE practitioner. The fact remains that there is no price that can be commensurate to a life lost. Safety is and should be our priority. Pay more for safety and stay alive. One touch from a good tally. But one touch. Fuel it's expensive. The bus driver, the taxi driver needs to make anything so I can go to the market and buy plantain and buy fish and buy oil. If he increases the fare and people say, you know what, I can't afford it, I'll walk, as we saw on Monday, he too is in a fix. I'm not having this conversation because I think there is an answer. I'm having the conversation with you because it's a genuine concern. Yesterday, I got to see in front of a tricycle, or rather in a tricycle, a woman with her child sat in front. Ideally, that woman should be at the back seat. But at the back seat, I saw this yesterday at Ozwoba. At the back seat, there were students closing time. Two of them were paying for one seat. So one student was doing the proverbial, the very common lapping his friend. The second seat, because the tricycle sits through at the back, right? The second seat was doing the very same thing. Another student lapping his friend. And then, comically, the third seat, the same thing. Look, I'm very sure some of you who go through Ozwoba probably saw kekes like that yesterday, sometime between 3 and 4 p.m. when the school closes and, secondary school students are going home. You must have seen some of those kekes exactly the way I just mentioned, described it for you. You must have seen it. You must have. In all, the tricycle rider is carrying more passengers, and if you know anything about mechanics and automobiles, the more weight you carry, the more fuel you consume. So interestingly, the taxi driver who's carrying 8 more, all right, carrying 8 instead of 6 or 7, is going to be burning more fuel than if he was to just increase the price and just leave it at that. End of story. But like Chike Daniel said, that look, the way he's seeing things, people will increase the number of passengers they carry and also increase the price. It's kind of like a double whammy situation, isn't it? Weird. So 017-923-0002, 017-923-0007, 017-923-0002, 017-923-0007. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. All right, join us in the conversation. My question is this: should taxis take in more passengers or increase their fares as we talk about how cab fare cost and adjustment in Port Harcourt. Well, Emmanuel sends a message from Uniport. It says, why do cabs overload? High fuel, higher car cost maintenance, high charges by police at checkpoints, e.g. Choba police station is now an established pay point. Natural greed and wickedness in Nigeria because of mass suffering. The point is, cab drivers in Nigeria are between surviving harsh conditions and providing services. It is not easy, he says. It's not easy. Now, this looming petrol price increase and the intended transport fare increase should not influence us to break safety and traffic rules. These rules are for our own good. While we pay more, the motorists should please be lenient with the passengers. Passengers, where's the campaign promise? Where is the Port Harcourt refinery refurbishing promises? Let us not be deceived. Most of the Nigerian political leaders are core beneficiaries in this petroleum marketing business. They pretend to share in our burden. It's all deceit. They don't care about us. Motorists, passengers, let's tolerate one another in the fare increase than overloading the vehicles. God will someday free Nigerians. Joel Adolphus Elder from Degema. Tonye is on the line from Ozuoba. Tonye, good morning to you, please. Hello, Tonye.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Jude.
Good morning, Tonye.
Yes, I am one of the drivers that applied the Uzoba Rumors Axis.
Okay.
I'm very much interested in your programs and I listen attentively every day.
Well, thank you.
But principally why I'm calling is that yesterday in your news bulletin, it was said that we have increased prices, which is not the truth. We still carry 100 naira from Uzoba to Rumosi, and we didn't even increase the passenger rate. We still carry 3 persons at the back, 2 at the front.
But if you listen to the news, Tony, if you listen to the news, it was in some areas, and I think I have the news report here. I can read it for you. It was in some areas that the rates were increased, and if you listen to some callers, if you listen to some callers, the places that were increased were interstate transportation, risen by 25%. And then even
within Port Harcourt,
yes,
even within Port Harcourt, the transport fares were increasing most.
Yes, I have that report here as well.
Ozoba was called in your news bulletin.
Oh, really?
In the morning. I listened to it.
I will check that out. But it's good. It's good that it's good that you're calling to disavow that you have not increased your cost, right? Along Ozuoba.
Rumosi Axis.
Okay, Rumosi Axis. You have not increased your fares, right? So you haven't. But the report did say from Choba to Rumokoro yesterday there was an increase. People claimed that there was an increase. There was. So I think that's where the confusion is. But Tonya, let me ask you, which would you prefer to take? More fees, or you want to increase more people in your taxi?
I would prefer the more fees, principally by because if you increase the passenger, you burn more. You understand? And that will increase my operational cost too.
Indeed.
So less passengers, more money.
Okay. All right. Tony, thank you very much for sharing that information with us. He's a taxi driver. He says, look, he would prefer more money, less passengers. Because when you carry more passengers, you burn more fuel. Now, someone sent me a lot of pictures. I don't think I can go through all. It says, you go through the pictures I sent you from the fuel station I went to look for. Look at how we are stranded. Look at our faces. Are we happy standing to 11 p.m. yesterday? It goes on to say, increasing the amount of passengers or increasing the transport. Please do these things. You call 1 liter of fuel. Have you seen the 1 liter before? See us at one filling station yesterday from morning to 11 p.m. Chris. Well, Chris, like I said, I bought fuel this morning as well. So yes, we are seeing these signs. We are seeing, not signs, we're seeing the effects. Jude most times you crack me up when you exclaim at how Nigerians are trying to survive this fuel and transport hike. You Nigerians are not smiling. No? If there was a way for people to lie on the roof of a car, they would. Brightener from Moji. And if they did, it'd still be risking their lives. Like someone said, it's a very harsh situation that the citizens have found themselves in. I regularly sit in the front seat, sharing the seat with somebody else, going around Port Harcourt. If I'm lucky, right, I'd rather sit in the back. I'd rather choose the back seat where I'm more comfortable. And sometimes, like someone alluded there, sometimes I'll just pay for the front seat so I can be comfortable. But you see, sometimes. But I know that it's a risk. Every single time I'm sat in the front, sharing the seat with somebody in front of me, it is a risk. Hello, Port Harcourt returns.
For more talk, news and sports,